Hey writers, I'm so excited to be teaching your writing lesson for today. Today we are going to be doing more grammar and we're going to specifically focus on suffixes. So let's get started. Let's look at our objective together. We're going to read it on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Kipsters will be able to create words with a suffix in a sentence by combining the base word and a suffix. So let's get started. So, word families. You were introduced to word families about a week ago, and Mr. Martinez taught you a little bit about it. So we're going to quickly review word families before we get into suffixes. So, word families. So, when we need to spell a word, we can use word families to help us. Word families are when words have the same spelling pattern. Word families have the same spelling pattern. They use the same group of letters in the same sound. So, let's look at a few examples. So we have the short ah sound that makes ah. So you have bat, cat, hat, mat. That all has the same ah sound. And it also ends with the T. They all end with the at. Let's look at the N. It has a short eh sound. Like children, gentlemen, then, 10. They all have the eh and the n sound, 10. Now let's look at the short I. It has bin, chin, fin, grin. They all have the same word family because they all end in the eh, n, in. Now let's look at the short O. Ock, block, clock, dock, jock. Those are all in the same word family because they all have the ok sound, the short O, and then the added k sound with the CK. And then lastly, let's look at the short U. It has the ugh, bug, dug, hug, jug, mug. Those all end in the same ugh sound, the short U. Now that we reviewed word families, let's get into our suffixes. So let's look and see what a suffix is. So suffixes are word endings that may change the meaning of a word. They come at the end of the word. They come where? They come at the end of the word. So you are going to have the base word come first, and then you're going to add the suffix. So let's look at a few examples together. So we have these suffixes all in red. So full is a suffix, and that means full of. So for example, you have hopeful. So that means full of hope. Okay, let's look at less. Less means without. So helpless means without help. We added our base word, which is help, and then we added our suffix less. Okay, to make a word present tense, you need to add the suffix s, like cooks. So by adding the word s, you made it present. Now to make it past tense, you add the suffix ed, like cooked. We have the word cook, and then we have the suffix d, cooked. And here are some more examples like ing, est, nest, shun, meant, en, able, ibble, and e. Like bumpy, having bumps. So now that we went over some of the suffixes, let's look at suffixes that are added that do not that are without spelling changes. So they have no spelling changes when you add the base word and the suffix. So let's look at some examples in our anchor chart right here. So kindness. By adding our base word and the ness, our suffix, there is no spelling changes. Kind stays the same, and then we added the suffix ness. Okay, let's look at another example. See-ing, see-ing. That is making it an action by adding the ing to it. So, and we have no spelling changes. It's see and then ing. Now let's look at suffixes that are added that do change the spelling. Let's look at happiness. Happiness. If we look over here, they changed the Y into an I. So now the spelling has changed. Let's look at rip. Rip-ing. Since it's the short I sound, we need to add another P. So it'd be R-I-P-P-I-N-G, making ripping. If there was not a P, if it just was one P, it'd be riping. That would make it a long I sound, and we want to keep it the same sound. So that's why we needed to add a P. So now I'm going to model two examples for you. So we have the base word, and then now we need to add the suffix to make the new word. So we have the word jump-ing, jump-ing. I think we can just combine those two and make it the new word. So you look, jump-ing. We added it to make it the new word, the action of you physically jumping. Now let's look at our word tried. Tried. Tried may be a word that we need to change the spelling because the Y. So instead of the Y, we need to change it to an I. So T-R-I-E-D. This way, we made it in the past tense. We made it in the what, friends? We made it in the past tense. So notice you do not spell it as T-R-Y-E-D. That would be incorrect. It's T-R-I, so you change the Y into an I and then add our suffix ed to make it past tense. All right, friends, this concludes our video of our model. In the next video, you will have some guided practice. I will see you soon.